Elisa Lam's story was something I stumbled upon late at night, browsing through random YouTube videos. At first, it felt like just another creepy internet mystery, but the more I learned about her case, the more it got under my skin. Elisa was a 21-year-old Canadian student traveling alone through California in January 2013. She checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a place notorious for its dark past, linked to serial killers and countless unexplained deaths. On January 31st, the day she was supposed to check out and head to Santa Cruz, Elisa vanished without a trace. The last known footage of her alive came from the hotel's surveillance cameras inside an elevator. Watching that video gave me chills. The way she pressed multiple buttons frantically, peeked out into the hallway as if someone was after her, and made those bizarre hand gestures. She seemed terrified or confused, maybe both. Eventually, she stepped out of the elevator and disappeared from view entirely. The footage went viral online, sparking endless theories about what could have caused her strange behavior, from mental health issues related to her bipolar disorder to something darker and more sinister lurking within the hotel itself. For nearly 3 weeks, Elisa's whereabouts remained a mystery. Her family, who had reported her missing, and the authorities searched tirelessly, but the trail seemed to go cold. Then, on February 19, 2013, hotel guests began complaining about issues with the water, low pressure, an odd taste, and a strange discoloration. Maintenance workers were sent to inspect the rooftop water tanks, and that's when they made the horrifying discovery. Elisa's body was floating inside one of the tanks, naked, with her clothes and personal belongings submerged beside her. The details surrounding her death only deepened the mystery. The tanks were large and heavy, with restricted access that required navigating locked doors and alarms to even reach the roof. How Elisa managed to get up there and into the tank without being noticed baffled investigators. The official autopsy ruled her death an accidental drowning, citing her bipolar disorder as a contributing factor. But questions lingered. Why were there no signs of trauma or struggle? How had she accessed an area supposedly off-limits? And perhaps most haunting of all, what had driven her to act so strangely in those final moments captured on video? The Cecil Hotel itself became a character in the story, its sinister reputation casting a shadow over Elisa's death. For decades, the hotel had been a magnet for tragedy, housing serial killers like Richard Ramirez and Jack Unterweger and serving as the backdrop for numerous suicides and unexplained deaths. Some believed the place carried a curse, or worse, that it attracted dark forces. Elisa's case only added to this legacy, leading many to speculate about supernatural involvement. Was she influenced by something beyond comprehension? Or was the hotel simply a stage for the chaos that unfolded within her mind? Online sleuths were relentless in their pursuit of answers. The elevator footage became an obsession, with viewers dissecting every second for clues. Some pointed out her erratic movements as evidence of paranoia, while others claimed she was communicating with an unseen entity. Theories ranged from Elisa being stalked to her playing a dangerous game linked to urban legends. But no matter how much people speculated, the truth remained elusive. The Cecil Hotel's history seemed to blur the lines between reality and imagination, leaving everyone who followed Elisa's story with more questions than answers. Forensic experts attempted to piece together Elisa's final hours, but the gaps in the timeline were unnerving. Toxicology reports revealed that she had been under-medicating her bipolar disorder, which could explain some of her behavior. Yet, even with this explanation, it didn't account for how she ended up in the water tank. The hotel staff claimed the rooftop was secured, and the tanks themselves were difficult to access without assistance. This led some investigators to wonder if Elisa had help, whether voluntary or not, in getting there. But no fingerprints, no DNA evidence, and no witnesses ever surfaced. Theories of foul play gained traction when initial reports suggested that the tank's lid had been closed when her body was discovered. Many argued that it would have been nearly impossible for Elisa to close it herself after climbing inside. However, this detail was later clarified, with authorities stating the lid had been open when maintenance workers found her. Still, the damage was done. Speculation ran wild, and the internet became a breeding ground for conspiracy theories. From secret government experiments to occult rituals tied to the hotel's dark history, Elisa's death became a canvas for people's darkest imaginations. As the case gained international attention, Elisa's story began to transcend the boundaries of a simple tragedy. Documentaries, podcasts, and amateur investigations flooded the internet, each attempting to uncover the truth. The Cecil Hotel itself became a macabre tourist attraction, drawing visitors curious about its haunted reputation. Some guests even requested to stay in the room Elisa had occupied before her disappearance, hoping to feel some connection to the mystery. It was as if her death had become a spectacle, a chilling reminder of humanity's obsession with the unknown. Despite the fascination, Elisa's family struggled with the public scrutiny surrounding her death. They had lost a daughter, yet her memory was being dissected and sensationalized. The online theories often ignored the reality of her mental health struggles, reducing her life to a series of eerie coincidences and unanswered questions. For them, Elisa wasn't just a figure in a viral video or a name tied to conspiracy theories. She was a vibrant young woman with dreams and vulnerabilities. In their grief, they fought to reclaim her narrative from the chaos it had become. Even with the official ruling of accidental drowning, many couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The unanswered questions surrounding Elisa's death continued to fuel speculation. How had she bypassed the hotel's security measures to reach the roof? Why hadn't anyone seen her during those crucial hours before her disappearance? And perhaps most haunting of all, what had led her to climb into the tank in the first place? The lack of definitive answers created a vacuum, one that conspiracy theorists and paranormal enthusiasts eagerly filled. Some began connecting Elisa's case to other eerie coincidences. One theory pointed to the tuberculosis outbreak in downtown Los Angeles around the time of her death. The test used to diagnose the disease was named Lam Elisa, a chilling overlap with her name. Others drew parallels between her story and the 2005 horror film Dark Water, which featured a plot disturbingly similar to Elisa's fate. These connections, though tenuous, added an unsettling layer to an already disturbing case, blurring the lines between reality and fiction in ways that kept people hooked. The Cecil Hotel itself seemed to amplify the unease surrounding Elisa's death. Its history was riddled with tragedy, from suicides to murders, and even its architecture felt suffocating. The narrow hallways, dim lighting, and outdated decor gave the place an unsettling atmosphere, as if time had frozen in its darkest moments. Guests often reported strange occurrences during their stays, unexplained noises, flickering lights, and an overwhelming sense of dread. For many, it wasn't just a hotel. It was a place where the boundaries between the living and the dead felt blurred. Elisa's case became a symbol of the hotel's cursed reputation, but it also highlighted deeper societal issues. Her struggles with mental health were often overshadowed by sensationalized theories and supernatural speculation. The public's fascination with her death revealed a discomforting truth. People are drawn to mysteries, even at the expense of empathy for those involved. Elisa's story was no longer just about her. It had become a reflection of humanity's obsession with fear and the unknown, leaving her family and those closest to her grappling with the weight of public intrusion. As time passed, the internet's fixation on Elisa Lam began to evolve. True crime enthusiasts and paranormal investigators continued to dissect every detail of her case, but their focus shifted from the specifics of her death to the broader implications of her story. The Cecil Hotel became a symbol of urban decay, its grim reputation serving as a backdrop for debates about mental health, security, and societal neglect. Elisa's case was no longer just a mystery. It had become a cautionary tale about the dangers of isolation and the fragility of the human mind. Yet for all the attention her story received, the core mystery remained unsolved. How did Elisa end up in that water tank? Was it a tragic accident fueled by her mental health struggles, or was there something more sinister at play? The lack of clarity kept people invested, turning her case into an enduring enigma. For some, the unanswered questions were a source of frustration. For others, they were a reason to keep searching. Elisa's death wasn't just a puzzle. It was a mirror reflecting humanity's deepest fears and curiosities. Despite the passage of years, Elisa Lam's story refuses to fade into obscurity. The viral elevator footage remains a haunting artifact, replayed endlessly by those seeking answers. Each frame feels heavy with unspoken truths, as if the video itself holds the key to understanding her final moments. For some, it's a reminder of the fragility of mental health. For others, it's a chilling glimpse into the unknown. The Cecil Hotel, with its grim legacy, continues to attract visitors drawn by morbid curiosity, each hoping to uncover a piece of the puzzle that has eluded investigators for over a decade. Elisa's death has also sparked conversations about the ethics of public fascination with tragedy. Her life became a spectacle, dissected and theorized by strangers who never knew her. Documentaries and podcasts profited from her story, often focusing on the most sensational aspects, while ignoring the human being at its center. For her family, this was perhaps the cruelest twist of all, watching their daughter's memory become entangled in conspiracies and entertainment. Elisa Lam was more than a mystery. She was a person whose struggles deserved compassion, not exploitation. The Cecil Hotel eventually rebranded, attempting to shed its infamous reputation. It was renamed Stay on Main, marketed as a budget-friendly option for travelers unaware of its dark past. But no amount of fresh paint or new signage could erase the lingering unease tied to the building. Locals still whispered about its history, and tourists continued to flock there, drawn by its connection to Elisa's case and other macabre events. The hotel became a paradox, both a place people feared and one they couldn't resist exploring. For those who delved into Elisa's story, the case often left them with a sense of unresolved dread. It wasn't just the eerie circumstances of her death or the haunting elevator footage. It was the way her tragedy seemed to expose something deeper about human nature. The Cecil Hotel became a metaphor for the darker corners of society, where neglect, mental illness, and urban decay intersected. Elisa's death, though officially ruled an accident, felt like a collision of forces beyond her control, leaving behind a mystery that continues to haunt those who dare to look too closely. For many, Elisa Lam's case became a gateway into the eerie and unexplained. It wasn't just her death that captivated people. It was the layers of mystery surrounding it. The Cecil Hotel's dark history, the unsettling coincidences, and the unanswered questions all combined to create a story that felt almost too strange to be real. Online forums buzzed with theories, each more elaborate than the last. Some claimed Elisa had been targeted by a secret organization, while others insisted she had fallen victim to supernatural forces tied to the hotel. The truth, however, remained maddeningly out of reach. But beneath the sensationalism lay a more sobering reality. Elisa was a young woman battling mental illness in an unfamiliar city, far from her support system. Her blog posts, which were later uncovered, painted a picture of someone struggling to find stability and meaning in her life. She wrote openly about her bipolar disorder and the challenges it brought, offering glimpses into her inner world. These entries served as a stark reminder that behind every mystery is a person, a life filled with hopes, fears, and complexities that can't be reduced to a viral video or a headline. As the years passed, Elisa's story became a permanent fixture in the annals of internet lore. Her case was dissected in countless documentaries, discussed in forums, and even fictionalized in horror films. Yet, for all the attention it received, There was no closure, no satisfying answer to the questions that haunted those who followed her story. The elevator footage remained as enigmatic as ever, a chilling snapshot of her final moments that seemed to defy explanation. It was this lack of resolution that kept people coming back, unable to let go of the mystery. For her family, however, the endless speculation was a source of pain. They had lost their daughter, yet her memory had been transformed into a public obsession. Every new theory or documentary felt like another intrusion into their grief, reducing Elisa's life to a puzzle for strangers to solve. In the end, her story wasn't just about unanswered questions. It was about the human tendency to seek meaning in tragedy, even when that search comes at the expense of empathy. Elisa Lam's death remains a haunting reminder of how easily we turn real lives into stories for our own consumption. Over time, the Cecil Hotel became a symbol of the unresolved, a place where the past seemed to linger in every corner. Elisa's case wasn't the first tragedy tied to the building, and it likely wouldn't be the last. But her story stood out because it felt so personal, so raw. People couldn't help but project their fears and fascinations onto her, turning her into a canvas for their darkest imaginings. The hotel, with its sordid history and eerie atmosphere, became the perfect backdrop for these narratives, as if it were a character in the story itself. What made Elisa's case so haunting wasn't just the mystery, it was the sense that it could happen to anyone. A young woman traveling alone, struggling with her mental health, and caught in circumstances that spiraled out of control. The questions surrounding her death may never be answered, but they continue to echo in the minds of those who hear her story. Was it simply a tragic accident? Or was there something more? Something we can't quite explain? In the end, Elisa Lam's legacy is one of both fascination and sorrow, a reminder of how fragile and complex life can be. For those who visited the Cecil Hotel after Elisa's death, the building seemed to carry an unshakable weight. Guests reported feeling uneasy, as if the air itself was heavier within its walls. Some claimed to hear whispers in empty hallways or see shadows move where no one should have been. Whether these experiences were real or imagined, they added to the hotel's infamy. It wasn't just a place to stay, it was a monument to tragedy, a space where the line between reality and fear blurred. Elisa's story became a cautionary tale for solo travelers and a rallying cry for mental health awareness. While many were drawn to the mystery of her death, others saw it as a stark reminder of how easily someone can slip through the cracks. The Cecil Hotel, with its history of neglect and violence, seemed like a reflection of society's failures, a place where the vulnerable were forgotten. For all the theories and speculation, perhaps the most unsettling truth was how ordinary her circumstances were. A young woman, alone in a city that didn't seem to notice when she disappeared. Even now, Elisa Lam's case continues to haunt those who stumble upon it. The elevator footage, with its eerie silence and inexplicable movements, feels like a ghostly artifact. A moment frozen in time that refuses to give up its secrets. Investigators may have closed the case, but the public remains fixated, searching for answers in places where none may exist. Her death has become a symbol of the unresolved, a story that lingers not because of what we know, but because of what we don't. The Cecil Hotel, despite its attempts to rebrand, remains synonymous with tragedy. No amount of renovations or new names can erase its history or the stories tied to its walls. For many, it's not just a building. It's a reminder of how easily darkness can seep into the everyday. Elisa Lam's story may never have a definitive ending, but it continues to resonate as a chilling testament to the mysteries that surround us. In her absence, she has become a presence, an enduring figure in the shadowy corners of true crime and urban legend. For those who have followed Elisa Lam's story, the unanswered questions are: what linger the most? How did she access the roof without triggering alarms? Why did she climb into the water tank? And what was she truly experiencing in those final moments captured on camera? These gaps in the narrative have turned her case into an obsession, a puzzle that refuses to be solved. Even as time passes, new theories continue to emerge, each trying to explain the inexplicable. But perhaps the real horror lies in the fact that some mysteries remain beyond our understanding. Elisa's death also raises uncomfortable questions about society's treatment of mental illness. Her struggles were documented in her blog posts, yet they were often overshadowed by sensationalized theories about her behavior. The focus on the supernatural or conspiratorial aspects of her case often ignored the reality of her condition. A young woman navigating the challenges of bipolar disorder while traveling alone. In many ways, Elisa's story is a reflection of how society fails to recognize and support those who are vulnerable, leaving them isolated in moments when they need help the most. Elisa's case has become more than just a tragic story. It's a cultural phenomenon that refuses to fade. Documentaries and podcasts continue to revisit her death, each offering their own interpretations and theories. Some focus on the eerie coincidences, like the tuberculosis test named Lam Elisa, while others delve into the Cecil Hotel's haunted reputation. For many, her story is a gateway into the world of true crime and urban legends, a chilling reminder of how reality can sometimes be stranger than fiction. Yet for all the attention it receives, the core of her story remains heartbreakingly simple. A young woman lost in circumstances no one fully understands. The Cecil Hotel itself stands as a testament to the weight of history. Its walls have witnessed unspeakable tragedies, from suicides to murders, and Elisa's death only added to its grim legacy. Despite attempts to rebrand and move forward, the building remains shrouded in mystery, its reputation forever tied to the darkness it seems to attract. For visitors and locals alike, the hotel serves as a reminder of life's fragility, a place where the line between safety and danger feels razor thin. Elisa's story may have ended there, but its echoes continue to ripple outward, haunting those who dare to look too closely. Elisa's story has also become a cautionary tale about the dangers of online obsession. The elevator footage, once a tool for investigators, has been watched and analyzed millions of times by strangers across the globe. Every movement, every gesture has been scrutinized, turned into evidence for countless theories. But in this relentless search for answers, Elisa herself often gets lost. Her identity becomes secondary to the mystery surrounding her death, reducing her life to a series of eerie moments captured on camera. It's a stark reminder of how easily people can turn tragedy into entertainment. For her family, the public's fascination with Elisa's case has been both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, the attention brought awareness to her struggles and kept her memory alive. On the other, it exposed them to invasive speculation and insensitive theories. The internet's obsession with solving her case often ignored the human aspect, the grief of those who loved her. In the end, Elisa Lam isn't just a name tied to a mystery. She was a daughter, a sister, and a person whose life deserved more than to be reduced to unanswered questions. As the years go by, Elisa Lam's case remains a haunting enigma. The unanswered questions, the eerie elevator footage, and the Cecil Hotel's dark history all combine to create a story that feels almost otherworldly. Yet at its core, it's a deeply human tragedy, one that speaks to the fragility of life and the complexities of mental health. For many, her story serves as a reminder of how easily someone can slip through the cracks, lost in a world that often overlooks the vulnerable. The Cecil Hotel, despite its attempts to move on, continues to draw those fascinated by the macabre. Its walls seem to hold onto the energy of its past, refusing to let go of the stories that unfolded within them. Elisa's death may be one of its most infamous chapters, but it's far from the only one. The building stands as a monument to unanswered questions and unresolved pain, a place where reality and mystery collide. And for those who hear Elisa's story, it leaves behind an unsettling truth. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to remind us of what we don't understand. Elisa Lam's story has become a modern ghost tale, whispered across forums and retold in documentaries. Yet, unlike traditional ghost stories, hers is rooted in real life. A tragedy that unfolded in plain sight, leaving behind clues that only deepen the mystery. The elevator footage, the water tank discovery, and the Cecil Hotel's ominous reputation all weave together to create a narrative that feels both surreal and heartbreakingly human. It's a story that doesn't just haunt, it unsettles, forcing people to confront their own fears about isolation, mental health, and the unknown. For those who dare to explore the Cecil Hotel today, the building feels like an artifact of its own grim history. The rebranding efforts may have changed its name, but they haven't erased its energy. Visitors often report feeling watched or uneasy, as if the hotel itself remembers everything that has happened within its walls. Elisa's case may be its most famous tragedy, but it's far from the only one. Her story remains a chilling reminder of how places can absorb the weight of human suffering, becoming symbols of unresolved pain and lingering questions. The fascination with Elisa Lam's case shows no signs of fading. Each new generation of internet users stumbles upon her story, drawn in by the haunting elevator footage and the eerie details surrounding her death. For some, it's a mystery to solve. For others, it's a chilling reminder of how fragile life can be. Theories continue to circulate, from the plausible to the fantastical, but none have provided the closure so many seek. Instead, Elisa's story has become a reflection of our collective need to make sense of the senseless, even when answers remain out of reach. In the end, Elisa Lam's legacy is both tragic and profound. Her death has sparked conversations about mental health, urban decay, and the ethics of public fascination with tragedy. The Cecil Hotel stands as a silent witness to her story, its shadowy halls forever tied to her name. But beyond the mystery and speculation lies a simple truth. Elisa was a young woman navigating life's challenges, her struggles amplified by circumstances beyond her control. Her story may never have a definitive ending, but it continues to resonate as a powerful reminder of the complexities of the human experience. Elisa Lam's story has left an indelible mark on those who've encountered it. It's a tale that transcends time, blending tragedy, mystery, and the haunting atmosphere of the Cecil Hotel into something unforgettable. Her death, though officially ruled an accident, feels anything but ordinary. The unanswered questions linger like shadows: how she reached the rooftop, why she climbed into the tank, and what truly happened in those final moments. These gaps in understanding have turned her case into a modern legend, a story that continues to provoke fear and curiosity in equal measure. For her family, however, Elisa's story is not a legend. It's a loss that will never fully heal. They remember her not as the subject of documentaries or internet theories, but as a vibrant young woman with dreams and struggles of her own. The public's fascination with her case may keep her memory alive, but it also distorts the reality of who she was. In the end, Elisa Lam's legacy is one of both heartbreak and reflection, a reminder of how easily life can slip away and how deeply we yearn to understand what we cannot explain. The Cecil Hotel, now infamous for its unsettling history, continues to loom over downtown Los Angeles like a relic of the city's darker past. Elisa Lam's story has become its most enduring legend, overshadowing even the other tragedies tied to its name. Her case serves as a chilling intersection of the real and the mysterious, where fact and speculation blur into something almost mythic. The elevator footage, in particular, remains a symbol of her final moments, a haunting fragment that refuses to be forgotten. As people continue to revisit her story, it's clear that Elisa Lam represents more than just a mystery. She is a reminder of the fragility of life, the complexities of mental health, and the human tendency to seek meaning in the inexplicable. Her death may never be fully understood, but her story endures as a cautionary tale and a reflection of society's fascination with the unknown. The questions may remain unanswered, but Elisa's memory persists, haunting, unsettling, and profoundly human. Elisa Lam's story is a testament to the enduring power of mystery. It's a case that has captivated millions, not just because of its eerie details, but because of the questions it leaves behind. The Cecil Hotel, with its grim history, remains a symbol of unresolved pain and unanswered questions, a place where tragedy seems to linger in the air. Elisa's death, though officially explained, continues to defy understanding, leaving behind a legacy that is both haunting and deeply human. In the years since her passing, Elisa has become more than just a name tied to a mystery. She has become a symbol of life's fragility and the importance of compassion. Her struggles with mental health remind us of the challenges faced by so many, while her tragic end serves as a call to better understand and support those who are vulnerable. Though her story may never have a definitive conclusion, it remains a powerful reminder of the complexities of the human experience and our collective need to seek meaning in the unknown. Elisa Lam's case will forever be etched into the collective memory of those who've encountered it, a story that feels both deeply personal and universally unsettling. Her death, surrounded by layers of mystery, has sparked countless debates, theories, and reflections. Yet, at its heart, it is a tragedy, a young life cut short under circumstances that may never be fully understood. The Cecil Hotel stands as a silent witness to her story, its walls steeped in the weight of its history and the questions it leaves behind. As her story continues to be told, Elisa Lam remains more than just a figure in a viral video or a name tied to a mystery. She is a reminder of the importance of empathy, the fragility of mental health, and the ways in which we seek to make sense of the inexplicable. Though we may never know the full truth of what happened to her, Elisa's legacy endures, a haunting reflection of life's uncertainties and the stories that refuse to let us go.